Coach, how would you assess Maddie Szymanski's performance so far?
Really good. Yeah, she's only a sophomore, and really improving a ton, and running really well this year. Last year at this Roy Griak meet, she was, even though we talked about how fast it went out, she led the race, and then she ended up, quite a ways back. So this year we talked about how to start the race, and she started it smarter and ended up, top 15th in that race out of over 400 runners. So definitely a solid race. She's still learning a little bit about, because she still went out a little bit fast in the beginning, but definitely solid performance, and she's ready to run even faster as we go here.
And finishing 12th out of 38, how would you evaluate that ranking at the GRIAC?
I mean, it was a solid, it's a respectable result, but I know the team is stronger than what we showed. We had some freshmen that was only their second 6 kilometer race, so, and this one was quite a bit hillier, so different approach. We talked about how to approach it, so they're still learning. Then some of the upperclassmen actually got in a pileup, which I didn't know about until, so in the very beginning there was a big bunch of kids went down. Unfortunately we got picked for box 21, which was exactly in the middle of the entire, which is like the worst box you can be in a big race, because everybody converges. And there was a pileup, and they usually would do a recall, but double shot and have them start over. But apparently they didn't see it. Nobody saw it because it was kind of in the middle, and the kids got up kind of quick. But our group ended up at the back, so then it narrows down, and then you're spending a lot of time. There's not a lot of space to get around, so they ended up spending a lot of time trying to get around, and therefore their times were, by the time they had time, it was kind of spread out. So that's where I know our performance could have been even better without that and with some other things, but which at this point it's good that happened now and not later. But that is the biggest race that we will be a part of, the biggest number of athletes, so that shouldn't happen from here on out. So a solid result for a young team, but I know we'll keep moving out.
And then, Coach, we look forward to the Lewis crossover coming up next. A couple days off. What do you look back with your team on from the Roy Griak, and then kind of move forward and say, hey, this is what we did, but this is what we can improve on before the next race?
Yeah, I mean, we learn from every race that we're in. So we look at what went well, what didn't go well in the GRIAC, and then this course is actually flatter. It starts off in a soccer field, and then you do one steep hill, and then you go 2 big loops around a cornfield. That's pretty flat, so it'll be a different type course. So we'll go over that, and then it's a little different with this last race. Was the second half was very hilly, and then a kind of an uphill finish mostly, whereas this one will be flat and a downhill finish. So we'll work on some of that. We're doing some hills this week to kind of get ready for how that's that steep hill, to kind of get prepared for that steep hill, and then going into the flat. But yeah, and then this is a big race again. But they only allow 12 runners per team, so it won't be quite as big as this last one. And there are teams from all different conferences, basically our whole region, which is really good. This is a chance to see where we stack up against. Most of our conference teams will be there, plus the couple of the other conferences that are in our region. So it's definitely a big kind of turning point in the season to see where we're at. But yeah, we're preparing for it and getting ready mentally and physically.